There were witnesses of the accident, and also the CCTV cameras captured clear footage. But despite all that proof, the authorities betrayed justice as they deleted all the footage, and witness also spoke in favor of Lin due to threats which made Ling Shuyang walk free from the court. All happened due to the Lin family being very rich and powerful. But Qing didn't give up and started collecting evidences from everywhere, and it was during that time that he found out that Lin Shuyang had a brother who was studying abroad called Ling Tianyang. But he wasn't able to find any evidence. But he had a vague feeling that Lin family had some ulterior motive to kill Chu Chu, who was just an orphan. But that was not important since this world is parallel to the previous world. Then, there was a high chance that the same disaster would happen again, and 2 days later, it was the day of Chu Chu's accident in his world. So he must protect her at all costs 3 days later. For that, he needed to become even stronger, for he was unsure if Ling Shuyang was also in this world. The next day, he went to the city hall again and showed his cultivation to get promoted. Director was shocked, as Qin was just 17 and had already reached the grand perfection stage of body strengthening with the wind element, and thought that Qin Fang's achievement might surpass the city lord in the future. But Qin Feng knew better, since he also reached the grand perfection realm of the thunder element after the last night's training. An ordinary genius wouldn't be able to reach this stage even after 3 years, while it took him just a single night. While the documents for promotion were being prepared, the director asked Qin if he needed anything else. So Qin took advantage of this man and asked him if he could give an identity token to his younger brother, who would be coming here from another city. Director said it was a trivial matter, and that he would arrange it all by himself. Soon after, he received a message on his phone as it said his 4th-ranked citizen card number. After that, the director told him that the work was done, so Qin thanked them. Qin didn't show his full power as it would endanger him and Chu Chu if he rose to fame, because it would steal the limelight of Ling Tianyang. So he asked the director not to publish his strength before he left the city hall. Not long after, Qin Feng dressed up as his fake brother and appeared in front of the director and told them he was the twin of Qing Feng. But they barely believed that Qing Feng had a twin. So when asked what the reason for his visit was, he told them that he had come here, but the guards gave him a drifter's identity card, which was the lowest of the ranks. He slammed that card as his body crackled with thunder elements as he asked the director to immediately give him an upper echelon card of 4th class. The director and the receptionist almost fainted, as this brother of Qing Fang was even more genius than Qin Feng himself. Not only was he younger, but he also had a thunder element which was stronger than wind in combat. Seeing this, they believed that Qin Mu and Qin Feng were 2 different people, as it was impossible for one to have 2 different elements, and not to mention the haughty personality, which is very different from the calm Qin Feng. So they quickly finished the documents and left. The director and the receptionist duo were left in shock and wondered what kind of karma the parents of Qing Feng and Qing Mu had to give birth to 2 outstanding talents. On the way back to his home, Qin was quite satisfied by scamming the director, for he got another card and more credits. Again, he stopped at an alley and ate another thunder core that he brought from the money he earned, which improved his thunder affinity to 100%, thus completing the system mission. And as a reward for completing the mission, his ice affinity was enhanced from 0.5 to the genius level. But he was a bit depressed, seeing the ice affinity was just at the genius realm instead of being at supreme rank. Then he found out that his thunder and wind affinity was at 0.7 and the ice was just at 0.5, thus, it was harder to get enhanced. He comforted himself, saying he already had a lot of cheats, but the system didn't give him any rest as it again announced that he had completed another quest of owning the ice element. And the reward was another grade 4 core of Ice Beast. And Qing Fang immediately ate it, which improved his ice cultivation by 67%, and also the battle power increased from 243 to 417, as though every extra element increased the prowess level by double. And the prowess of a 1-star elementalist is about 500, so he was not much weaker than a 1-star elementalist now. So he was sure now that he could save Chu Chu while patrolling, but his worry was only Ling Tianyang. At that time, another quest was issued by the system. It was a quest where he would enter the dungeon to battle against beasts. If he dies, He will be back from the dungeon but can try 2 more times, but each time the condition to enter the dungeon would become harsher. Seeing that he didn't waste time and accepted to enter the dungeon. Before he went in, he was gifted with a divine class martial arts technique to survive in the dungeon. Thus, he vanished from where he was and entered a world of flame and volcano. He then saw a fireball with eyes flying about, which were fire spirits of the first tier. He wanted to stay safe, so he killed it before it could make any attack and got a crystal core which couldn't be devoured by his skill but could be sold to the system. Qing was ecstatic to hear that system could exchange things for money. The most important thing that he lacked at that time was money to buy elemental cores. So he went into a frenzy and killed fire spirits left and right with his newfound divine martial technique, which made him feel like he had decades of combat experience. But his massacre didn't last long as the ground beneath spewed a beam of flame which almost burned him to cinders. Just as he was backing up, he tripped and fell from the edge of the cliff down. But his luck got worse as he encountered a flaming pig which was at 1 star of the elemental stage. The system calculated and informed him that his chance of defeating it was around 40%. Then another notification appeared saying he needed to kill the boar within 10 minutes to pass the test. Soon after, the chase and run began. The boar smashed a small hill with its body while Qing Feng dodged the attack. It was smashing the walls of the cliff as Qing Feng kept dodging it. Luckily, the reflexes of this boar were really slow despite being so strong. While he was running away, he then saw another place where the fire beam was spewing out of the ground. Then an idea struck him, so he lured the boar to that place, and just as the boar charged, it was penetrated by the beam of fire. After the boar was roasted, Qing Feng got the crystal core of the boar, but unfortunately, he couldn't devour it, but could sell it for 5 million to the system, which excited him. And to top it off, the system's announcement came saying he completed his first sacred grade battle. Then he got Ice Elemental Beast Core with 1 Grade 1 Gene Pill of perfect rank, along with a Ice Affinity Seal Fragment. He then ate the Ice Beast Core, which increased his affinity to ice elements by 30%, along with improving the cultivation of ice element to 100%. Next was the Gene Pill. It's something that is extracted from the Beast Cores. A lot of people who don't have an innate skill of an elementalist choose to use these gene pills to become stronger by becoming a gene warrior. Gene warriors were categorized into 4 ranks, from grade 1 to grade 4. But the gene pills sold in the market all have strong side effects and are sometimes life-threatening, and as the number of gene pills one takes increases, the chance of death also increases. Only 1 in 6 people survive and reach grade 4 of gene warrior. But the gene potion Qing Feng got had no side effects as it's of the perfect grade. Then the system opened its shop function and showed him more perfect-grade gene potions, but all of them cost by the number of several million. He then dreamed, as with these gene potions, Choo-Choo would be even safer. But he was informed that the stock of the system was very low for these pills, and as it turned out, it would increase after Qing Feng increased his cultivation realm. When Choo-Choo did take the element test, she was found to have a 0.9 talent in some unknown talent and 0.5 in ice talent. And with this gene potion, it might even be possible to make Choo-Choo a strong dual elemental expert. But it was a dream of a distant future, as he first had to make Choo-Choo reach the 4th grade of Gene Warrior before she could become an elemental. He then sold everything he got by hunting the beasts in the dungeon to the system and purchased 1 grade 1 and 1 grade 2 gene pill, and then he ate both of them, which increased his combat prowess to an estimated value of 570. Then he consumed the last reward, an ice deity fragment, which increased his formation of the divine level mark to 30%. Generally, it takes a lot of time to improve the divine level mark of an element, even by a bit. So he was ecstatic, as it was no less of a miracle. After every reward was sorted out, he was forced out of the dungeon as he appeared in the same place he disappeared from. Right after that, the system informed him that he could make use of the second chance of the dungeon to get in and reap even more rewards, but it warned that the difficulty would be greater than before. But he didn't accept it, as he needed to be even stronger. Later, he went to an arms shop and bought weapons and landmines to prepare for the patrol. And the weapons were surprisingly cheaper than he expected, since they were not that useful against the beast's tough defense. Just as he glided and slid through the alley, he accidentally saw a noble lady pissing. The lady screamed and called him a pervert, so Qin Feng had no choice but to run. Then the maid of the lady came out with weapons in her hand. Since he was not faster than bullets, he had no choice but to enter the second dungeon, so the system immediately embraced and pulled him in the dungeon. Outside, the maid and the lady were surprised because he had just vanished, and the lady started crying and blamed her father, the city lord. She complained that if her dad didn't force her drink so much spiritual water to increase her ice cultivation, then she wouldn't need to be pissing in the streets. When he entered the netherworld, he saw that it was filled with elemental beasts of 6th grade, but his surprise turned into horror as he saw a skeleton-like monster killing the level 6 horses like vegetables. Then, just like the previous time, the system issued a clear condition, which was to kill this skeleton in 10 minutes.